Welcome, everybody. You ever feel like your life is just too complicated? There's too much family drama going on. You don't know who you love sexually and who you're related to. Sometimes it's both.
Welcome to the attic.
It's VC's Peasies.
You're flapping.
I'm gonna flap.
Okay.
Hey, dear listener.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of
VC's Pieces Podcast.
with your hosts.
I'm Katie.
I'm Tia most of the time.
Most of the time, and we are here in the attic, and we're tucking in. It's night time. It's midnight. Aw, that was great.
That was good. What? Not even planned.
Not even planned.
Never
It's
is.
extemporaneous.
Anus.
Today, on this day, we're talking about the fourth book in the Cutler series, Midnight Whispers. Midnight Whispers. Midnight Whispers is what I said, but Midnight Whispers. Which I'm thinking right now, gross.
Oh my
Don't
god.
creep up on me and like.
And that's
in my
literally.
ear. That's
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
There were midnight whispers that are not.
They are not
appreciated.
okay. The sidebar, fourth wall. At one point, I took a screenshot of something, and my autocorrect filled in, and it just said no. I was like, my autocorrect and I were on the same wavelength.
Oh wow! I love that.
If you're wondering what's going to happen, here we have Tia with the flappy back.
The inaccurate back flaps.
Sorry, I said that about you.
I actually lost part of the back flap. I think it's like sweet, innocent Dawn's daughter Christy has grown up in the safest, most loving of homes.
Really?
Christy can't help feeling as if a dark cloud hovers over Cutler's Cove. A cloud whose origins lie in her family's troubled history. And the many questions no one, not even Dawn, will answer. Only one person can always chase away her blues. Gavin. Daddy Jimmy's young and handsome stepbrother. Then, in one harsh night, Christy's... What?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. They went straight from, 1 to plot point 17.
Yeah, okay. Then, in one harsh night, Christy's world is changed forever. She is shocked to discover her Uncle Philip's unbrotherly love for her mother. But even worse is the way he now looks at Christy, his eyes bright with tortured passion. Fleeing to New York City, she finds her real father, a pathetic, helpless has-been. Desperate and heartbroken, she turns to Gavin, who travels with her to the Meadows, the plantation where Christy was born. In Gavin's arms, in the first tender moments of true love, Christy finds a refuge from her painful memories. But the Meadows is blighted by its own dark secrets. And all too soon, Christy is torn from Gavin's embrace. Now, as black storms of evil gather around her, Christy must struggle to break the cruel bonds of the past, to defy the curse that has haunted Cutler's Cove for generations. The actual fuck.
You have a problem with this back flap?
I do.
What?
A lot of it.
Yeah?
Yeah. So weird things to focus on.
Yeah.
Things that happen within 2 pages. And then also... I don't know, break the cruel bonds of the past. Did that... What? I don't know.
So,
Anyways.
I found they had a pretty clever prologue here, whereas Christy is just about Sweet 16, and we'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's writing a letter to Trisha. And
who we still love.
we still love, yeah. No one said we didn't.
No, I'm
And
just saying.
Why it's clever is she throws in things that the reader doesn't know, but presumably Trisha would know. She was like, you know how my 9-year-old brother Jefferson is.
Yeah.
I presume Trisha knows who it is and how old he is. But hey, at the end of the last book, Dawn finally got knocked the fuck up.
And I feel like the this age gap is accurate. So I feel like Christy would have been 7 by the time that Jefferson was born.
Yeah.
Finally someone's
correct
paying
age gap.
attention.
Ooh, that made me question some things. later on, but also at the beginning. So,
Okay, wow, let's dive in, kids.
this is from Christie's point of view. In the VC fashion, this is now the third family of books where our protagonist is no longer the protagonist, but their child is. Christie.
Yeah, the only thing that was different in Dollenganger, the child's point of view was book 3, not book 4.
Yep. So
But-
we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see what the pattern, but maybe it's just organic to the story. Who knows?
A lot of this doesn't feel, I hope none of this is actually organic.
Still no year.
No.
Nope. There was one cultural note later on. I will get there.
Okay. I'm excited.
So, and I noted this because Chrissy uses a kind of archaic phrase in her letter to Trisha that says, Mommy and Fern had a row.
Oh, yeah.
Fern is at college, and I feel like, again, this age gap is widening. Because if we're going off the fake one that they did in Twilight's Child, where Fern was like 10 and Christy was 5-ish.
Yeah.
5-ish. Because she would go to kindergarten and Fern was like 10, 11.
Yeah, 5 years, that tracks. 21 in college.
Alright,
Yeah. What age do you think people went to college?
I don't know anything.
Fair. Plus, you probably also got held back some, and like,
We don't know.
do you think she's too old to be in college or too young to be in college?
I just realized, like, I never thought, only inspired by you do I think about people. I just read, and I didn't until we just started talking about ages, and I was like, click. So, maybe on my own timeline, I would have checked my thought and moved on, but here we are.
Hello.
New Year. There's a leering portrait. She notes that grandfather Cutler is a leering portrait.
I love that.
Yeah?
I mean, kind of. I don't know. I can't wait to meet him. IRL.
I know. What? Oh, those twins are too close.
Gross. Yeah, they're freaking
Yes,
gross.
that's noted.
There was an morning of Sweet 16 birthday.
Yeah. This?
So Shristri has like
I can't. Don't stop. You can't do that.
yes, I can.
Okay, great.
So Shristri is like, oh, the weather is always my things, and I wanted the blue
my
skies
thing.
of the morning, and it was,
The weather is kind of my thing.
but it's like dreary. So all my personality has to do with weather, which they don't really like circle back to really too much.
Not too much.
No.
Like maybe like one little nibble. But
Yeah,
like,
but
no, if it's her thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Anyways, but they're like, she flits downstairs finally.
She's having a Sweet 16. There was a program on the MTV called My Super Sweet 16 that, unless you had seen that, you would be flummoxed by the grandiosity of this fucking event. She wants to save every memento from this precious day.
Do you know that's another thing that's been a VC trope? Like, I unwrapped it, being careful not to rip any of the paper so I could save it.
Yes,
People,
now that you say that.
yeah, people unwrap gifts like my friend Amanda.
I-
Shout out, you'll never listen to this, but thinking of you.
I would like to do that, but only because I like to reuse wrapping paper.
Oh, yeah. If it's like a good, sturdy situation.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really recycle wrapping paper. It's for the
I know.
earth.
That's why I don't even use it anymore.
Right?
Newspaper.
Me neither.
All the time.
Awesome. Great.
Or nothing. Reuse a gift bag forever.
It's coming apart. It's all soft at the seams.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I'm soft at the seams, so I love it. So, she wakes up, her little brother comes in, he's like, can I have your toys? And she's like, if I can turn 16, I'm not going to have toys. And he's like, but if you get any, can I? She's like, yes, go away. And then mommy's like,
Mama Dawn.
Mama Dawn.
Mama
You're a real woman. And then she goes downstairs, sees her dad, who's still very handsome,
Jimmy.
and this fucking quote.
Oh.
I had no trouble understanding why mommy had been in love with them ever since they were children.
Like, on the surface, you're like, oh. But then it's like, whoa. If you go 1 millimeter under the surface of that statement.
Yeah, because, like, Shristri knows that...
Do she?
Yeah.
She do?
Yeah, her and... yeah, absolutely. Because she knows, like, that Granddaddy Longchamp went to prison for this stuff. She knows that her mom got kidnapped, all this shit. Like,
Which, by the way, people get very upset when they talk about Ormond being a felon. And it's like, well, he did prison.
I know, but, like, you don't need to be rubbing it in like it was something... like, this was...
his character.
Yeah, no, like, especially... Like, he committed a crime not knowing he was committing a crime.
Fair.
Like, he didn't go to prison. Like, he
He didn't go to prison on purpose.
Yeah. As people often do. Yeah, like, it's not like he and Sally Jean, like...
Billie Jean, Sally Jean.
Yeah. Kidnapped Dawn.
They were horny.
Cutlers were like, hey, sneak off with this baby. It's what everyone wants. And they're like, cool. That's what happened.
It was an accidental kidnapping.
So yeah, fucking don't rub it in that he had to go to jail for that shit, because he loved her like she was his own child.
Fucking birthday party is fancy as a wedding. There is preparations happening, so... but we have this portrait at the breakfast table, and it's like loving, but we don't get our faces rubbed in it. There's like gentle like joshing and like it's idyllic.
It's so idyllic.
So idyllic. So Christy,
enviable even.
Huh?
Enviable even.
And so Christy goes to up the hotel, and as we remember, they have their house away from the hospital? Hotel.
A stone's throw.
How far you throw a stone? I don't know. So she goes to check out the setup of this motherfucking fancy ass formal question mark affair. Also pins and needles till Uncle Gavin arrives. Mm-hmm.
So excited.
She sees Uncle Philip. He's always with his surprising kisses. Now, we've off mic talked about how the fuck you kiss someone on the cheek, kick them on the cheek, and have your lips brush theirs on the pull away.
Can we try?
Sure.
Okay. Like this, like that?
Okay. That was just corner to corner, though.
I know, that's grazing the lip.
All right.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I'll buy that.
Yeah.
It's not a full mouth to full mouth.
No, I didn't picture it like that. No, oh my God.
That's what I picture, and it's very funny to me.
Yeah, no, it is funny, but I think that's what it was. It was just like, oh, as I'm pulling back, I'm just a little bit of shrimp.
Setting up now the main arc of this whole family, which is motherfucking fuck you, Philip.
Motherfucking fuck
So
Philip.
fucking gross. Why is he so fucking gross? Because he's mad that he didn't get to fuck Dawn. The end.
I mean, he did fuck Dawn.
I'm sorry, but he couldn't handle that sibling reveal 52 books ago.
It's true.
You get to be fucking gross.
Oh yeah, he's the worst.
It's privilege personified.
Yeah, it's very affluent of him.
That's what he wanted. And it wasn't fair.
It's not fair that we found out we were related. I wish that we didn't find out we were related till after we had consensual sex instead of what happened in the shower. And Dawn's like, no, I'm glad we did. What is wrong with you?
I know. Constantly. Christy notes that Aunt Bet is dressed to highlight her best features, one of which is her thin mouth.
I love that.
That's your best. Go.
Oh, it's like when she's going to check out like how the party's going, they mention that like there's one of the party favors are mirrors with her face on the back. What?
Can you imagine? Imagining like myself at 16, like this kind of like gargoyle-ish kind of like, and you pick up the mirror and you're like, oh, I look good today. Oh, I was wrong back. That's the back. Wrong side.
There's also a weird...
Are there Jordan almonds? I hope so.
Oh man, now I want some Jordan almonds.
No, sorry.
And I want to watch Bridesmaids.
Anyway.
Yep. So there's a description of the twins. Richard was slightly heavier and an inch or so taller, but Melanie had straighter teeth and smaller ears.
There you go. Now we know.
That's not
helpful at all.
You're not. What are you comparing? Like what?
Smaller than what?
But
it's just some descriptive words. All right.
Ugh.
I mean, could they be identical or fraternal? No,
they can't be identical because, but they talk about how they look exactly alike, except for
the ears.
Richard's a bit heavier with larger,
Teeth. But I don't know.
heavier, and an inch or so taller. But Melanie had straighter teeth and smaller ears. She's really stretching to find anything.
They're smaller than her brothers, a male of the species, as would you expect. I do like to picture Richard and Melanie as kind of like androgynous mirror images.
Yeah, I picture them as like basically the twins from The Shining, only slightly different.
Yes,
like
older.
like that vibe.
Yes.
Actually, those aren't even twins. Did you know that? They were sisters in the book. I don't think they're just dressed the same. Yeah.
Correct.
They're like 6 and 8 or some shit.
Maybe the two twins are doing like mime hands all the time. That's what I picture them doing all the time, just like mime hands together.
Yeah, I don't know.
Creepy, weird mirror stuff.
One thing I did think was a bummer is that they never like had like a secret twin language. I feel like that would have been a nice thing to also feel.
But they're
gross
learning
about.
French and conjugate their verbs.
Conjugate more than that.
I am kind of. Oh yeah, so it's like very exciting time. All the people she loves are arriving. I'm kind of loving Aunt Fern's vibe upon arrival.
I know you.
You knew I would.
Yeah.
She's like disheveled. She has like fuck you clothes on. It's like
Just chopped off all of her hair, just ripping butts.
yes. Oh girl, okay.
Also, is this supposed to be fucking Fern?
I know.
I think it's supposed to be Fern. Why does she have long
what is it
hair?
called? The step
back.
which is through the window. This illustration,
Inaccurate.
and it's very long hair, like one of those. They're back now. The bodysuit with like the snappy crotch and like a denim. It's like a floral bodysuit and a denim, black denim miniskirt and like a very like slutty hair.
I mean, it's not even that slutty.
It's long, and she has a vibe.
She's tousled.
But
I feel like she looks way classier.
Yes, tussled like she just did a fuckins. All right, I don't know.
Yeah, she's ready for a glamour shot. She just got fuck me eyes.
There we go.
Yeah.
So basically, Fern rolls up and is like, she's like, ugh, I get like chills when I come here, and it's like, I kept waiting. Spoiler alert: this does not happen. I kept waiting for a reveal from Fern, like, oh, this happened to me, and I have a trauma from it. Not just I'm shitty Fern.
Shitty Fern.
Just shitty Fern.
Shitty Fern. Shitty bitchy Fern.
Yep. SBF. If it's sunny out, you gotta have like a nice SBF on you.
Oh yeah.
Chrissy and Gavin, they're not related, but they were raised as uncle and stepniece because they are instantaneously tingled.
Yeah, and they had been. I mean,
they had been tingled.
Yeah, you could. Like I said at the end of the last podcast, like it's very clear that they were setting up later because it was like, oh, Gavin applauded his little fucking arms off. After,
He's got no arms.
after Christy played piano.
You just got two little stubs. Anyway, so she's on pins and fucking needles waiting for Gavin to arrive. And it's just like looking at, did you note any of these decorations? I didn't jot them down because I was just like, I had this, breaking the fourth, meow meow. I had this book as a teen without any of the others.
Yeah.
So like I knew it was gonna happen. So I'm just like I was just waiting to get there.
Blech.
Yeah, gross. It's like styrofoam cutout music notes. Chrissy piano. Chrissy piano. That's it. That's her. Chrissy
I think
piano.
they had like saxophones and guitars too. It was just like, hey, and like a balloon sculpture that said "Happy
cacophony
16th
of balloons.
birthday. We love you."
Cake in the shape of a piano.
Yep.
Nailed it.
And I'm picturing like they're wheeling it out on like a freaking like
Flatbed.
Platform.
Yeah.
It's a plinth.
It's
a plinth of cake.
It is a life-size piano.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. I'm picturing actually like a baby grand piano.
Same.
Yeah.
Great.
Not huge.
Not like an upright. Not one of those shitty uprights. A baby grand. Yeah, it's the fanciest thing. I'm pretty sure when I turned 16, I got a VHS copy of The Nightmare Before Christmas in the clamshell.
My mom came home from like...
Oh, my parents weren't home. They had plans. They just left me that movie.
Yeah, no, my mom came, like, rolled in with some dude she was dating at the time and was like, here, I bought you 2 pillows. And then I was like, cool, you don't even know me anymore, Mom.
What do I do? Sleep?
Yeah, it was the only place to get away.
No, but Christy gets a formal Sweet 16.
Oh, yeah.
It's V formal, and
I would like to note, though, she's not a bitch about it. Like, she's not a spoiled brat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Important to note.
Yeah, I feel like that's...
This is
'cause
apparently
we're talking
our-
about elaborate party, but I want you, dear
very down to
listener,
earth.
to know that she's, like, super grateful and, like, I can't believe... Please don't go through all of this trouble, like, and means it, but she's like, okay, they're gonna... Great, well, this will be a really fun night. But, like, she's not like, this needs to be the best party.
Fair enough point.
Yeah.
We're just bitter. Now, there's a point that I screenshotted where, so Christy and Dawn are getting ready, and it's fresh. And,
It is fresh.
Daddy Jimmy comes in, and he's like, why a woman can be as comfortable as she wants, and a man has to wear a monkey suit is beyond me, Daddy complained. But, he said quickly when Mama scowled, I'm doing it. I'm gladly doing it. Jimmy, my dude.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Wear for women is V uncomfortable.
Yeah, do you know how many undergarments there
There's
are?
like scaffolding.
There is scaffolding
There's like
under there.
titty scaffolding. He's like, I guess you can just be comfortable in your very pinchy high heels.
Yeah, and like your waist snatched to the gods, and like your uplift bra, the uplift bra.
There's a greeting line at this party.
Yeah,
And who lingers in it?
Philip.
Fucking Philip.
Well,
Fucking Philip.
Even before, he was like standing in a corner. He's like, oh, Tristry, you look so much more like your mom. Let's have a secret hug. And like, I hate Philip.
I hate him so much.
I hate him so much. Mm-hmm. It's fucking disgusting.
You should talk about Philip.
Yeah, Philip.
Fill up your gut with alcohol.
The only way to help.
Fern comes to the party. Tits out.
Titties
Fully
out.
out. It's like panties and a sheer dress.
Yeah, with no
The end.
undergarments
And
at all.
she's
No
like,
bra.
it's art. Or like tries to like play it off like it's sophisticated.
Yeah, she's just like, what? You guys are so stuck up.
You guys don't.
You're prudes.
You don't titties here. Do we not titties?
Also, she spikes the punch and gets hammered, and they're like, oh my god, there's children at this party. But there's no fucking follow-up. I want
You want
at
drunk-
least
you
one
want a
drunk
drunk child.
5-year-old to happen. Well, because Dawn was, no, Tristry was like, I can't believe it. Like, the children were drinking this punch. And nothing happened. No one got accidentally drunk, and that is a missed opportunity.
Fuckface Philip insists on the first dance. He ignores his girl child. It's noted that she looks real
All the time.
sad about it. Just to like breathy whisper in Christy's ear.
And she's like, this is super uncomfortable. I imagine
like,
anyone watching us dance are like, why is an uncle dancing like this with his knees?
Yep, there are step uncle kisses. I also noted party for pages. It's a lot about the party.
Yeah, well,
It's a grand event.
it's the last nice thing
Aw.
she had.
Oh, there's step uncle kisses. She and Gavin step away for like some gazebo kisses, and then
He
there's
gives her a bracelet, and then they do a little smoocher. It's like her first real kiss.
Whiskey Fern fighting with Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that happened before. That's
Oh,
the
I had-
spike in the punch.
Well, I had step uncle kisses. I think you jumped the gun because there were gentle step uncle kisses, and then Whiskey Fern shows up and fights with Jim Jam about her college or whatever.
Yeah, and then I thought then they like scuttled away to gazebo because they were like outside.
Yeah.
Anyways, doesn't matter.
And then
Same party.
Whiskey Fern has a pre-sex barf, which
Yeah.
amused the fuck out of me. Because she was like, with the bellhops, just fucking blorps. And he's like, all right.
He's like, we gotta, no more of that.
And Gavin's like, ew, my sister Fern is gross. And Chris is like, yeah, I've seen this before. And he's like, what? She's like, yeah, I used to watch.
Yeah, she's like, well,
I've seen him
I looked away the first time, and he's like, well, what about the other time? She's like, no, I checked it out.
Check it out for a little bit. Little sexual agency.
Yeah,
Great. Whiskey Fern.
curiosity's fun.
Yeah, so it's a great, beautiful time in Christy's life, the party.
Is it?
Yeah, I think Fern gives her as a gift Lady Chatterley's lover, which I Googled. I was like, what the fuck? It's very scandalous. It'll come back.
Is it really scandalous?
For the time.
Oh, okay.
I guess. It's a very sexy the book.
And she like bookmarked chapter 10, which apparently has some humpins and doings or something like that.
But she was also, Fern was like to Christy, oh, you didn't know about Philip and Dawn used to date. You think they were just innocent? So Christy's like, hey, mama. And I feel like Dawn gives a pretty vague warning about rapey Philip to innocent Christy, because Christy really doesn't know about this kind of interpersonal, layered, sexy stuff. And she's like, Philip never really got over us being real. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? He, like, never got over it. And she's like, I guess? Like, he was just, like, sad about it. She's like, but, like, he never got over it. And Christy has no fucking idea. Yeah. And Dawn seems to be obviously trying to warn her.
Yeah, but
she's
she's also
shit-ass job about it.
She's also planning on, like, really giving her all the tea, though.
That's the time to do it.
Yeah, I know. Well,
you don't want to sit on that one. You don't want to sit on rapey Uncle Philip.
No, you definitely don't want to sit on him.
Your face is so upsetting. Anyway, up until the event that happens, you got anything else?
No, it's like 2 days later. It's like the last day of school. I guess they go to the last day of school is on a Monday, which is obnoxious.
That really is obnoxious.
Yeah. Like she hasn't even gotten through like opening all her gifts and stuff. Whatever. She like lets Jefferson tear them open. So they go to school, and Jefferson gets like a really bad report card. And he's like, "No, no report card."
And Richard's
Richard's a dick. Richard and Melanie are both assholes.
They still get held back. And to Christy's beautiful and pristine, like, personality, she's like, you guys don't have to be a dick to him. And then she's like, you did fuck this up.
Yeah.
You need to... This is going to be a bad time for you, friend.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, Christy is, I guess, perfection in all of our eyes.
I
have to think so.
I did like her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being a dick for my own amusement, but...
Yeah, like, I don't really...
You don't really have a bad word for Christy.
I don't really have any, like, Christy flaws as far as, like...
Like, she's too innocent. Oh, what a flaw,
Yeah, and, like, not even so, because she is, like... She's very, like, not okay, like, anytime something happens. Like, she's outspoken, but, like, not in a way that is...
Fern-like.
Yeah, and it's not, like... It makes sense. Yeah, it's justified.
So they roll back home on the last day of school, and what awaits them?
They see a big plume of smoke, and oh my god.
The cove.
The cove is on fire.
Yep.
The
fireman said, there's no sprinkler system. He smirked.
Yeah. Blew up. What is that about?
Now, I know with building codes, you can be grandfathered in. But like,
I mean, but like, if this is like the 60s or the 70s, like, did they make you put in, like, how stringent were the safety laws?
So basically, Christy is like hauling Jefferson all over the place. She's like, they must be here, they must be there, let's go around back. And they're like, no one's here. And she either passes out or gets a sedative. She wakes up in bed and is told what happened.
Well, that's why she passed out.
She passed out.
She passed out because I think it was Aunt Bet was like, they never came out.
Yeah.
And she's just like, boof.
Christy obviously legit sad about her parents' deaths and is getting the old now.
Yeah.
Now.
Like, immediately when she like woke up and was upset, the doctor's like, hey, you gotta knock this off so you can be there for your brother. Imagine how upset he is. And she's like, can I not be upset also?
When was this written?
80, 90, 50.
I mean, I feel like even just a few years ago, we were giving folks the old now.
92.
We were giving folks the old now, not really understanding that feelings need to be processed.
Yeah, and like, grief has no timeline. But, I thought because... Okay, so the boiler exploded in the basement.
The boiler exploded in the basement.
When Jimmy was there. I guess, like, fire shot up all the vents and the card room fell in.
Yeah, the card room.
I honestly thought that Philip had, like, rigged something so that Jimmy died.
Ooh, an interesting take.
Just because, like, It was because, like, during the fire, he was so, like, out of it, and like I think that I read that as him being like, "Oh shit, this went wrong. I didn't want Dawn to die."
I am loving this fan theory.
Yeah, but we never know if that's true or not. He also says some bullshit like, "Oh, your mom yelled like, take care of my Christy."
Oh my God, we'll get there. But Christy's still in bed, and Aunt Bet tells her what happened, and they were found in the. Dawn got all the elderly guests out like a martyr, and then was like, "Where's Jim Jam?" And like ran back in after him, and they were found like embracing. Which fuck off. Second of all, so first of all,
Wow.
fuck off. Second of all, Bet notes. Aunt Bet notes there were police there that couldn't like hold her down, and like, but no firefighters were on site yet, but we're en route. Pretty fucking selfish, Dawn.
Yeah.
You have 2 kids.
Yep.
Pretty fucking selfish.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Were you gonna lift a wall? Were you gonna Hulk smash like an exit point?
I think, Jesus Christ. She was...
Professionals were on the way.
I know, but it's like in the middle of a thing, and she was just like, shit, let me get in there.
She was on raw, sexy
I think
adrenaline.
I think you also, like, when something that crazy is happening, too, she probably didn't think, like, it's like not real. You're just like, I just got to get him out of here. And like, you don't understand this. Yes, in front.
Now for you, friend, was this your classic VC Andrews fire scene?
No.
Okay, great.
No, because it wasn't, because only one person went back in.
It wasn't comedically chaotic.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like, and then like the oldest person in the hotel was like, I got to go in and save Jimmy. And like, then Dawn went in to save the old person.
Yeah, and then like Jimmy comes out and goes back in for Dawn. Like that's what it would have been like. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Philip says he promised Dawn he would look after Christy, and I, for one, do not believe that at all.
Yeah, I don't think so, because she was just like, she went, because Dawn was like, she didn't say anything about Jefferson. He was like, oh yeah, of course she did.
Probably that too.
Yeah. I really thought that he was the one who rigged up it to explode.
I mean, I'm loving it. I'm gonna have to process this later. On my own time.
I guess we'll never know. You know what? I'm sticking to it. No, I'm not, because of later things that happened.
So, at what point, there's a point you screenshotted and sent me your notes, and I'm wondering where the part where you wrote, maybe I shouldn't say it now. Mm-hmm. So here's what happens next, is that Philip and Bet and the twins move into the family home, which it makes sense, but they all suck so much ass.
They suck so bad. Like, it started sucking like during the funeral, and Aunt Bet was like, "Okay, Jefferson, Christy, here are your places.
Nice. Here's your thing.
Make sure you talk to everybody." And then like there was a point where like, and she was just like all on Jefferson to like,
be neat.
You need to wear this, and you need to do that. And Christy was like, "Dude, why does it matter? Like, no one's gonna care." Like, and she's also like, "We're going upstairs to go to bed," and she's like, "You can't, more people are coming." She's like, "I don't fucking care." Like,
they move into Bet and Philip move into her parents' room, and she immediately is like, "Take all this up to the attic."
Yeah.
And Christy's like, can you stop this?
Yeah.
I need some time. And she's like, "It's fine. We're just doing it. It's our lives are disrupted too."
Oh my God.
Yeah. So Fern rolls into the funeral with a fella named Buzz. He doesn't show back up, which points to her sluttiness. Buzz.
Her promiscuity.
Yep. Fern knows all about everything somehow, and she's like, eh.
Because she's so sneaky. I bet she, like, listens at doors and, like, goes through people's stuff, like...
She do claim that Philip walked in on her more than once and liked what he saw.
I believe it.
She probably has nice titties.
Yeah. Okay. But also, I mean, like, I'm sure. I am sure.
I'm wondering at what point, now that we're at the whole family being under one roof and all, you wrote, "I'm legit scared for Christy."
I think it was like he's just doing such a creeper. I think it was like the night of the funeral or the night
where
after.
It says Christy wakes up to find Philip in the chair next to her bed.
Yes.
There we are.
And he's just like, "Can't we have secret talks sometimes?"
Yeah. So this is the screenshot, and that's where my autocorrect wrote no.
Yeah, perfect.
Where it says like, "Uncle Philip," I cried, clinging to my blanket. Some of the hateful things Aunt Fern had said lingered like mold on the walls of my memory. "What are you doing here?" I had no idea how long he'd been sitting there, staring at me while I slept. He sighed again, louder and longer. I couldn't sleep, he said, and I was worried about you, so I came by to see how you were doing, and I guess I fell asleep in this chair. I haven't been awake much longer than you, fucking liar.
He was staring.
I thought he looked like someone who had been awake all night.
Yeah.
I'm all right, Uncle Philip, I said, still confused by the look on his face and his actions. No. I know you well. I know how fragile and sensitive you are, and what you are suffering. His eyes turned softer, meeting and locking with mine. You need extra tender, loving care. And I mean to give it to you as best I can. No!
Oh my God, I hate him. He's so gross.
My next note just says, ew, Betty Ann is an asshole.
Yeah, yep, she really is. Yeah, she's a psycho.
Yeah. She's mean to Mrs. Boston.
Oh my God. Oh. Yeah, she's just like a psycho. She's flipping out about things not being clean enough, proper manners, and changing the decor in the house. Like,
for the
just
kids' psychological well-being.
And like also, it was like the day after the funeral or something.
After.
She was like, oh, Richard's going to move into Jefferson's room with him. And like,
Christy, you said they shouldn't be so close. Why would you want them sharing a room? And she was like, I guess I did say that, but they don't hate each other, so.
Yeah, it's just like, he's got to do it right now. And she's like, can you fucking not, like, stop it? Because she went in there and like, Richard was like moving a bunch of Jefferson's stuff. And she was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna bitch slap you. And he was like, yeah, like skulked into the distance, into the ether. And then she went up to Aunt Bet and she's like, I fucking get it, but like the funeral was yesterday. Can you just like let my brother not have to deal with this right before bed?
And she's like, I'm the new mistress of Cutler's Cove, so ew. Bet's like, there's no need to get upset. And Chrissy's like, yeah, because you all fucking suck.
Really?
There's no need to get upset. I need to redecorate everything for the psychological well-being of these children. Cool. Yeah.
It was really upsetting. And also, like, they just keep, like, condensing Jefferson stuff more and more. It's like, oh, well, Richard wants the bed by the window. And, like,
He needs extra drawers.
And Richard needs more room in the closet. And, like, it's just fucking, oh, my God. I had so much anxiety, like rage anxiety, reading this entire fucking book.
I screenshotted this because I found it great. So Aunt Bet says, you're not being a good big sister by encouraging and excusing his bad behavior, Christy. I am very disappointed in you. And she replies, Aunt Bet, you can't imagine how disappointed I am in you.
Yes!
Oh.
Fucking love Christy.
Yeah, she like threatens like physical violence against this tween.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll beat the shit out of you if you do this again. And he's like, Mommy!
Yeah, Mommy! Yeah, also, like, Richard moving into Jefferson's room makes no sense because him and Melanie are always with each other. Like, Richard wakes up and goes into Melanie's room to brush her hair. They share a fucking toothbrush, and they bathe each other.
They're, if I can say that, they're close. If I can say that. They're close. Ooh, these twins are too close.
And Aunt Bet's like, yeah, well, whatever. Like, they shared... It's so special, their bond. And
they shared my womb.
They shared my womb. Why should they be...
Yeah, Melanie's budding breasts make an appearance because they bathe together. Her budding breasts. The end. And then she's like... her budding breasts, and it's so special because they shared a womb, and that's magic. Yep.
Hey, Sparrow.
And Philip gets like those creeper tables turned on him at the graveyard. Because Chrissy goes for walks and talks to her parents' graves, and then like
I love that for her. I feel like that's
good,
a
healthy coping skill.
That's a good like self-therapy since no one else is fucking helping her. I feel like that's like, I don't know, like her instincts are right on that. Like, yeah, go talk to them.
So she kind of like starts to bustle back off and to hear someone else, and it's Uncle Philip. And so she creepy peeps on him, and he's weeping at Dawn's grave, and he's like, "I'm so sorry. Are you, Philip?"
And like that's where I thought,
is he truly delusional?
I think so a little bit, but I also think that's like giving him too much
exactly
credit.
Yeah, Yep.
Because it just oozes affluence. It's just like, I can't get this, and so man.
He's like, I know it was hard for both of us because you loved me so much.
Yeah.
When we just wanted to explore innocently.
No, she fucking didn't.
30 years ago.
I know, and also during that time, and she was like, please, you're going too fast. And he's just like, okay, I'll slow down. Oh, honking a boob. Yeah, like, oh.
So that was something I noted. Is he truly delusional? And he's like, Christy, I know that we both made mistakes.
Dawn?
Again, you can't stop making people identical copies of each other.
Yeah. That's true. Wow. Yep. They're,
I think of Christy as our child, is something he says.
yeah.
Which makes things that happen later even more upsetting.
Yeah. I mean, ugh. But at that, like, graveyard confessional, if you will, that's where I thought, like, maybe he didn't burn it down because maybe he would have said, like, it wasn't supposed to happen that way. And that's what made me think, like, okay.
This delightful...
Like, it was an accident.
Yeah.
But also, like, I'm really...
Fuck you, Philip.
There's still, like, a percentage of my brain that's like, he rigged something because he wanted Jimmy out of the way. Because he always thought, like, oh, if Jimmy wasn't there...
Well, that's the only reason.
We would naturally
that's the only
go back
reason.
to each other. And he said shit like that. And Don was like, no, we're fucking related. It's never going to happen.
But if you weren't married, could I touch a titty?
Odd.
The twins have a stomach bug, which automatically means they've been poisoned. Oh, your face. Their immune systems. People get a stomach bug. Do you know what I'm saying?
You know...
Like, sometimes you have, like, some vomiting and diarrhea for a day or two, and then you're fine.
I just wish that, like, some of these things were fleshed out more. Like, I want to know, how did they actually get sick? Because they're conniving little bitches. I wonder if they made themselves sick in some way. Or if, like...
You know what? Done. You're writing these books now.
Or if Aunt Bet, like, wanted to control things so much that she got them sick.
I just read it as something as everyday and banal as, like, if you had some poops and vomiting for a day or two, you'd be like, I must have caught a...
Yeah, 24-hour bug.
Done.
That happens,
guess,
yeah.
You know, take your shoes off. You're poisoning me.
Yeah.
Take your shoes off. You do that anyway, but it's not about your weakened immune system.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she fucking fired Mrs. Boston.
Oh, yeah, because she made the twins sick somehow.
Because she was like, it's the food. She poisoned the food.
And it's so dirty here. It's so dirty. The dirt that I'm finding.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about, like... Yeah, that's a repeated trope as well. Or so far, I mean, between Castile and Cutler so far. Like, someone being obsessed with... Cleanliness. And, like, oh my God, like, one germ iota is gonna fucking... We'll all die. Like,
And Chrissy's like, hey, my parents are pretty fucking clean people. Like, I don't know what you're saying. She's like, Dawn, God rest her, was just so busy. But I'm not running. I'm the mistress of Cutler's Cove. I'm not running a hotel. Dawn was so busy. She didn't notice how not clean it was.
And also... Fucking Aunt Bet being like, hey, Mrs. Boston put shit in the food to make everyone sick, and everyone ate the fucking food.
Yeah,
and
Christy
only
was
the
like,
twins got
I'm
sick.
fine.
Like, you're fine, right? Jefferson, you fine? Uncle Philip, you fine? Everyone's fine? Everyone's fucking fine.
So Mrs. Boston, all caps fired.
Yeah.
And then Jefferson crawls under the house, which I'm sure Aunt Bet's going to love.
He's so sad. That was like, yeah, their lives changed like so hard, so fast. It was hard to read.
Soil and dirt are going to cause the twins to motherfucking die. Yep.
Oof. Like, okay, so and then you let them outside though, and you let them go to school. That place is germ-filled and disgusting.
Uncle Philip comes into Christy's room with a pact that sounds like marriage vows and has to be sealed with a kiss.
And she's just like, yeah, okay. She's like, I would agree to anything to get him the fuck out of my room right now.
Christy is in the bath, and here's Philip with a sexy nightgown.
And another one of these, I'm very good at washing backs.
I'm very good at washing bags.
And she's like, no thanks. And he's like, you're missing out. And she's like, all right.
He was like, here's a sexy nightgown.
I saw it and I thought of you.
It feels so soft and comfortable. You know what's comfortable? Flannel.
You know what's comfortable? Not having your uncle buy you a filmy negligee. And then being like, I saw this freaking lingerie and thought of you.
See-through Niptown negligee. So she puts it on. It's like, I felt weird about it, but I was like, I'll wear it to bed. And I'm not victim blaming. Why would you wear that to bed? Take it off.
It was probably comfy. I bet it was like a sheer moment. It's like summer. She already had it on.
Like, you can't just...
I'm just saying
I'm not getting undressed and redressed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on. Like, are you going to get undressed and redressed for bed? I don't see that for you.
She has a dream that Uncle Philip comes in to peep to make sure she's wearing the nightgown. Good thing she didn't redress herself. She goes to see Bronson.
Also, I bet that wasn't a dream.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
He definitely did that. He was like, sweet, she does what I want.
And she's feeling weird. Everything sucks. I don't know if at this point some of the pranks have happened yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, so she goes to do her piano because she, like, gets back into it.
Oh, no, that's not
yet? Never
No,
mind. Okay, nothing.
They do, like, Richard throws Jefferson's, like, shoes out in the rain.
All of his clothes.
Because she was like, I told him to pick up his clothes. And it's like, he obviously doesn't have the executive functioning to do this.
Yeah,
also trauma.
Yeah, and it rains and, like, all of his shit gets ruined, and Christy goes to Uncle Philip, and she's like with the shoes, and she's like in a bag, and she's like, the fuck is this about?
And he's like, it's fine, just go buy new shoes. And it's a pretty good setup that he is like, look, everyone's emotional, just go buy new shoes. He's like, you're right. So it validates her. He's like,
Yeah.
you're right, but they're not going to say they're wrong. Just go buy new shoes. Mm-hmm. So that's a great little nugget for her to be like, all right, maybe Philip's on my side.
Yeah.
And so she needs to go talk to Bronson and Grandma Laura Sue, whom we didn't talk about at all, but she is very much Alzheimer and like in a wheelchair, but has like kind of a Jillian vibe and a caked on makeup kind of way.
Yeah.
But I don't know, she just is. She
Bronson still loves the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Love me a Bronson.
and she tries to like talk to Bronson, and she's like, shit's like weird, and he's like, well, Jefferson is messy and Richard's not. So you can see how that clash. She's like, all right. There's a couple setups where he's kind of like, yeah, I can see that's upsetting. And it's a really great setup where she's like, should I tell him about the fucking nightgown? And I don't want to be foolish because everything I brought has been like, yeah, you're right. That's kind of explained away. So it was a great setup where if you had just said he's making me feel weird, he's kind of kissing me a little bit.
She does bring up the nightgown, though.
She do?
Yeah, and he's just like, so?
It's a nightgown.
Yeah, but I don't think she, like, went
Described
into,
it
like,
properly.
yeah, because I think at that point, too, she was feeling like, am I blowing things out of proportion? Like, he's right, I am super sensitive right now, like...
Right, it's this pretty honest portrayal of, like, what people go through.
Yeah, although 100%, like, if she had been like,
feel-
like, you could see through this thing, I feel super uncomfortable, and also...
He's creeping in to check and kiss.
He did like a weird vow thing where we like promise each other to tell each other sexy secrets or like fucking. Bleh.
Can I explain a feeling? Oh, I got feelings. Does Gossipy Bronson know all about Philip?
Gossipy Bronson?
Because he knows everything that goes on. What does he know about Philip? Does he know more than we think he does?
No,
Is that
I don't think
alluded
so.
to?
No, because I think he didn't get the details of like. Because Dawn never.
She didn't tell anyone. That.
Yeah, she didn't tell people about the shower stuff. I think only Trisha knew that, and not even Jimmy. I think it was just Trisha.
I don't think Jimmy knew that. Yeah, okay. And we've now come to Honey Piano.
Yes. So Dawn's like, she got back into playing. She's like, all right, I'll do this. Chrissy gets back into playing.
See?
Yep. All right, I guess I'll do this. And her piano teacher is like, hey, cool. Because she's just like, all right, I'm just going to fucking try to ignore everything that's happening in this house. I'm just going to focus on music. And
She's like, I really haven't felt like it, but maybe I'll.
Yeah. Like, I got to
back in
do
routine.
something. Yeah. Like, I got to do something for myself, for like my mental health. And she goes down to practice one morning because they're supposed to be a recital like at the end of the summer. And her piano is just like covered in honey. Someone spilled it.
Keys, like all over the keys,
Yeah, all
getting
over the-
into the innards.
Yeah, it's like dripping down from the keys.
Yep. There's a Aunt Bet holds a fucking trial.
She does. They're like, it was clearly Jefferson. And Christy's like, no.
He probably wouldn't do that to me.
Like, he definitely, she's like, he wouldn't. Like, but he's always gross and he does pranks. She's like, yeah, but never like, no, he wouldn't be like that to me. Like, yeah, he's 9 and he's kind of obnoxious, but like, literally no.
What does Richard bring to this trial?
He found a
Honey container.
the honey container was put back in the cupboard, and it was like, they're like, me and Mrs. whoever the new maid is, Stoddard, we both remember yesterday that this honey pot was almost full. Look now, it is almost empty, so someone must have done it between here and here. And Don's like, they could have put it back later. And Philip's like, that's fucking true. And they're like, we found this
Rag
in the closet, a washcloth that had sticky honey on it. And Dawn was like, all right.
Christy.
Fuck. Christy was like, all right, listen. Did you
Even if-
find the honey pot like that? Or did you clean it up? And they're like, oh, this is exactly the way I found it. She's like, there's no fucking way Jefferson could spill honey everywhere and not get it all over.
She was like, even if I live in a world in which he would do this, he would have put it back very messy.
And then they were like, well, he wiped it off with a rag. She's like, you can't fucking wipe
With a dry rag.
honey off with a dry rag. It's going to be sticky and smeary. And they're like, And then they're like, okay, let's just agree to disagree. And Chrissy's pissed because she's like, no, your fucking kids did it. Why don't you give a shit about that? And they're like, let's agree to disagree. Trial's over.
Philip's like, fine, just everyone shut the fuck up. We'll clean the piano. This is when Christy says that Aunt Bet was pacing around like Perry Mason.
Yeah.
50s. The 50s. Roughly the 50s. That kind of tracks with Dawn being like a teen in the maybe late 40s? Post-war kind of late 40s? Maybe.
I don't know.
Chew on that later.
But Perry Mason's been out since the 50s, so this
I
could
know.
definitely be like it's in syndication at this point.
Sure.
So it's like 60s or 70s.
But
it's no
that-
later than the 70s for sure.
Somehow Aunt Bet sucks even more after that piano incident. Somehow.
Because she's so pissed that she can't blame it on Jefferson.
No, it's just like,
And she has to deal with the fact that, like, oh, it was definitely my kids, but I can't act like it was my kids. Because who the fuck else is it going to be?
Yeah.
It's your fucking shit kids. It's your shit kids.
it's basically like she's 24/7 just screaming about Jefferson having dirty shoes.
And it's so sad. This poor kid, he's a little boy. He's going to be messy. Also, he just loves his parents. Get off.
Yep. Who tossed Christy's mail? I don't have any closure on that, and I need to have.
I think Melanie.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Melanie just based...
Sorry, she's writing to Gavin 24/7.
Yep.
And he never writes back, and she finds like letters in the trash. Were they letters incoming or outgoing?
Incoming. Yeah, he gets all her letters.
Okay.
And
She finds them in like the trash, and it's like, who's taking my mail? And they're like, accidents happen.
yeah, like, oh, are you sure you didn't throw it away? And she's like, no. And then they're like, someone must have thrown it away. It's like, someone fucking opened it. It's because when I think it's like based on everyone's reaction when she asked them, like Melanie, like immediately like, was like nothing, like looked down and was.
You didn't think it was fucking Philip?
Nope.
Okay.
I think it was Melanie because she's super jealous of Christy because Christy is talented, pretty. Her dad likes her better, and she's got a boy interested in her. So I think it was just like, for me, it was like she's stealing this letter to sort of like
Level that playing field?
No, like see what it's like to have someone write to you, like talk to you like they enjoy you.
What does Aunt Bet finds in Christy's room?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So for whatever fucking reason, and I don't even. So Christy comes back from
One of her
visiting
graveyard jaunts.
Yeah, the graveyard jaunt, and they're like, "Where the fuck have you been? Meeting with boys." And she's like, "No."
Nope.
And then she's like, "Ah!" So Aunt Bet's got like Lady Chatterley in her hand with a bookmark still in it.
Fucking frothing at the mouth.
Yeah, and she's like, "Nah, I knew you were so gross."
This is your quote textbook on sexual behavior. Woo!
And Christy's just like, fucking Fern gave that to me. I was embarrassed. I put it in my closet. And they're just like, oh, the bookmark. And she's like, she fucking put it in there. Like, Christy picked up that book, read like 4 sentences, and was like, ew, yeah, Fern's, oh, the fucking, and they hid it in their closet. And she's like, why the fuck were you in my room? That came up a lot, which valid. I liked that. She's like, yeah, great, but why the fuck were you in my room? And
The maid was cleaning.
apparently the maid was cleaning and mentioned it to Aunt Bet. I don't think so, though.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, Aunt Bet was scuttling around in there.
Yeah. But, who boy, what a reason for Philip to talk about sexy desires. And then my next note is just says, oh no, with a thumbs down emoji. Because this opens the door. I know your face is so sad right now. This opens the door for Philip to be like, well, let's have a grown-up chat. And says, quote, maybe I can explain a feeling. Like a backwards chair sitting bud. And it's like, do you have any like desires?
And she's like, Mom and I talked, which I loved that too. Like we find out that Christy and Dawn had like a pretty open relationship, like about sex and love and like.
But unfortunately, he turns into Uncle Molester thumbing nips. He thumbs her nips for some fucking reason.
It's like, do you know I was the first person to touch your mom here?
That was
what
it.
the fuck?
Oh, I forgot about that.
I'm gonna drown myself.
So the quote that Christy said was, "I cringed under him." Like, girl, I cringed reading this.
I cringed so hard I accidentally did a Kegel.
That felt good. And then he gives her the old, there, don't be frightened.
Bah!
There, don't be frightened. Fucking thumb and nips.
That's what I have to say to that.
She's visibly cringing. Uncle Mo Lester. And then I wrote Lil Richard shitface, LOL.
Uncle Philip.
Hey! It was very exciting for me. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was so fucking gross.
Stuck to my Little Richard shitface. Little Richard shitface. Because Richard has doggy doo shoes, and oh boy, does Aunt Bet like that. No.
Jefferson has. Yeah.
Jefferson has doggy doo shoes, and he's such a little animal. But Christy is like, whoa, yeah, these are gonna go in the Goodwill box.
Yeah, she was like, okay, so they're. First of all, he didn't track shit through the house.
Like, they're just on the spot where you demand we take them off.
She was like, yeah, he took them off and brought them upstairs. She's like, why the fuck would he do that? And then, like, she was making the Mrs. Stoddard, like, clean the shit shoes. Like, instead of just throwing them out.
Throw
like,
those out.
Go clean the shit shoes. And so she's like, wait a minute. And she goes out there and she's like, can I see this fucking shoe? And then she's like, these are way too small for Jefferson.
Yeah.
And even Miss Stoddard was like, because she's like, because Jefferson's like
a sweet boy.
He is like, he's very precocious. You definitely are just like, all right, bud, you're trying your best.
Yes. So she's like, yeah, they were gonna go in the Goodwill box. We just hadn't had time to put them in there yet. And Philip didn't fucking know. Richard didn't know that, did you, Richard? And she's like threatening him with like shit shoes.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm gonna fucking put shit in your face.
Love it.
He should get a face full of doggy doo.
Here for it.
And then they're like, oh, how do we know these shoes don't fit Jefferson? And it's like, fucking God, okay, we have to wait for him to come home.
Look at the size he's wearing.
We have to wait for him to come home so we can try the shoe on like Cinderella.
But what stops this whole thing is the news that Laura Sue has died.
Yeah.
And Philip loses it big time.
Yep.
He definitely like Randolphs it. Doesn't matter. Blah, blah, blah. She's like, another funeral for me, a young Christy. And then he's just nude in Christy's room.
That night, yeah.
Yeah. And then, I'm sorry, dear listener, but it happens. The thing that you have been hoping wasn't going to happen, do happen. And
yeah, she wakes up. I think she smells like whiskey breath. And he's just sitting on the side of... Yeah, you know what? Fuck that. Whiskey's delicious. Don't think bad about whiskey because of Uncle Philip's.
So... she's like, I saw him there, and I was like, is he fucking nude? And he is. And he's like, can I just lay beside you? Nope. And what was most upsetting about this whole incident was that he's like, you're not afraid of me, are you? And she was like, yes, I am. You are scaring me. Get out of my bed. And he's like, oh, so get more in? And it is... Even as graphic as the rape of Dawn was, this somehow felt even more, a little bit more protracted, because it involved the phrase, he poked between my locked thighs. Ooh, woof.
I hated this. I hated this so much. Like,
this whole scene.
Well, just like Philip in general, like, he sucks, and he's just very like, no, nothing's gonna happen. I just want, like, fucking, or just like, no, just relax. Like, oh my God. Because like when Dawn was like, hey, too fast, he's like, oh, I totally get it. How about I just try to get down your pants now? And she's like, whoa, no, take me back home. And he's like, like, but he would have fucking taken advantage of her if that other car hadn't showed up. Mm-hmm. And then when he was just like, oh no, I just like wanted to talk to you. I just want to learn how to be brother and sister. And then he was like, no, I just want to like give you a hug. And then like freaking, I'm just so glad like Dawn was just like screaming bloody murder. So we only got like a thrust or two in. But poor Christy, he's like clamping down on her mouth. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
And that it was a lot of that descriptive language.
Yeah, it was like the struggle was real on that one, and it was very hard to read.
It was like the dolphin fucking scene in Showgirls.
Yes.
In the sense that when she reaches down to guide him inside of her, that's like a very visceral thing.
Uh-huh.
And then the idea that like her thighs were locked, but like his tip was poking. So like people know what a tip poking feels like. So you can personalize that. Anyway, so that happened.
Horrible.
It was horrible. And then he's like, I mean, we've done nothing wrong. It's good. It's okay. It's okay that we did this.
And Christy's like, fucking nope. And
She
like,
nopes right the fuck out.
she nopes the fuck out
As soon as he
immediately.
leaves, she jumps in the shower.
Scrubs off all of her skin.
Yep.
And's like, all right, and just like packs a suitcase. She's like, I don't know, underwear.
I have no plan. I got no plan, but I'm leaving this fucking place.
And she wakes up Jefferson, packs a couple things for him, and they fucking dip.
Yep. And they go find was it a bus?
Yep, they go to the bus station.
And he goes, oh, is this one of them split families?
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, and he's like, all right, I'll give you one cheaper fare. She says she's got a few $100s, but for some reason, it was all gone very fast.
Yeah. F-E-W, few. So she decides to go see her real father, Michael Sutton in New York City. Because at first she was like, Trisha will help me. But Trisha is on a traveling show of some type. And then she's like, oh, ding, New York. My real father. He's my father. He must care about me.
Yeah, he's got to, like, something's going to happen, right?
Has to happen. He has to, so let's just go there.
I would like to mention, too, we never hooked back up with Trisha ever.
Nope.
And that was disappointing for me.
Sure didn't.
Like, there should have been something.
So they get to New York, and she looks up Michael Sutton, in the phone book. How vintage.
I know.
She calls all the Suttons until she finds him, and he goes to him, and Jefferson is like, the classic child, and he's like, what's happening? I'm hungry. And she's like, shut the fuck up.
Can I have toys? And she's like, I have $1 left.
I have one fucking dollar. So they find Mr. Michael Sutton, and he is still ugly. Still
washed
rumpled and
up.
ugly.
Washed up has been.
I mean, their meeting is pretty uneventful. I mean, I didn't give a shit. I mean, probably because we knew he was going to be shitty.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, call me when you get your inheritance. More than once, he's like, well, you get an inheritance, right?
Like, oh, it burned down. Like, oh, insurance money. Cool. So,
when you're 18, you call me.
Yeah.
'Cause you'll have that.
Yeah,
and she's like, I don't think you understand. Like, my uncle's being like, and he's like, well, I mean, he's your guardian. So, but like, if you stick it out till you're 18, you get like all the money, and then you can fucking call me. And as a gesture of his generosity, he gives her $5 to get back to the station.
Yep. Here you go.
Here you go.
And he's got like some
floozy
there, just being like, "Yeah, oh, we have to take the subway now, Mike.
Get that taxi money."
That's what I picture her voice sounding like.
That's what happens.
Everyone's just ripping butts and flicking them on the floor.
So she naps and Jefferson wanders. Did she call Gavin at that time? She called Gavin for help.
Yeah, she called Gavin like when they got
"Please
back
meet
to the
me.
bus station,
Here,
and
I
she's
don't know
like,
what to do.
"Here's what happened," or like, "I can't tell you 100%, but like,
I had to leave."
And he's like, "Why?" She's like, "Uncle Philip." She's like, "It happened in my bedroom," and he was just like, "Fucking stay there, I'm coming."
So they just have to wait for Gavin.
Yep.
So she has a doze off, and Philip wanders, and Christy wakes up to find like a bum playing pocket pool next to her. Of all things she has to see.
I know. She's like, oh, he's doing. Looked like he had some marbles in his pocket.
He had a milk in his pocket.
Yeah, and then she was like, oh, he just opened his fly in my eyeballs.
When she runs off to find Jefferson, she runs around in a panic, and then he's like, I was in the bathroom. And then, but she turns around, and that was the plot hole for him to steal all their bags. Mm-hmm. Their 2 suitcases and purse. Just when she's like losing her shit at a Port Authority comp, strong Gavin, like cuts through the crowd and it's like, I'm here, I'm a man-ish.
He found them behind a bench. He was about to give up. Like they'd like huddled down behind a bench to be like,
that's right.
Don't steal our dignity.
That's right. So Christy comes up with this grand idea that it's for me all caps and question marks. She wants to let's go to the Meadows. The Meadows? What?
She had visited a couple of times and she knew Aunt Charlotte. And also, no, valid. She's like, no one's gonna fucking look for us here.
Sure. But what I'm going to say will come later, and I'll say that this should have been plan 1, but I'm not going to say it now. So when they roll up to there, this guy's like, they try to get a taxi. They're out Upland Station, and this guy's like, I'm headed out that way. And they get there, and Luther says, Luther is back.
Luther! He's got like a shotgun pointed at him.
And he's like, oh, you're Dawn's daughter, all the way from the ocean.
Yeah. And, like, he's instantly cool.
Yeah, he was like, hey.
And she was like, but... he was like, they fucking died. Are they dying?
He was like, you look exactly like Dawn. Yeah. In true VC fashion. So I know it's true.
Yeah, but, you know, he was really gruff before. And, like, yeah, once Miss Emily died, he's been fucking living.
Yeah.
And who else has been living?
Is Charlotte. Oh. Tell the reader what Charlotte's existence is right now.
I love Aunt Charlotte so much. So she just decides like, yep, we're gonna light lights, and you know what, I'm gonna fucking paint all this shit. Like, they go in the house and it's still like in some disrepair, but like all like the old-timey portraits of like their ancestors, right.
She doodles on.
Yeah, she like give them mustaches and beards and like monocles and funny hats and stuff, and she's like, they always just look so sad and mean, and I'll make them fun. Happy. Oh my God. And she just like is painting the the antique furniture, different colors, and just painting walls, and like everything's got her like cool needlework everywhere. Like, and then like her outfits too are just like a patchwork potato sack.
She's like, well, Miss Emily always wanted us to eat them fucking vinegar oatmeal. And she's like, but when she died, me and Luther went out and bought a 10-pound bag of sugar.
Yeah.
How do they get money? How do they get money?
Oh, I think that there was like a trust left over.
That's a great question.
I think it was a trust left over.
I was just concerned that they were spending too much on sugar.
No,
she says that Luther is like, we really shouldn't use, like, it is expensive to use electricity.
Yeah, I think that they're probably still pretty frugal, but I think that like
I was concerned about their sugar spending.
No, I think that was part of it. Like, that like when Dawn went to the house, she was like, yeah, you guys
don't have money.
Stay here forever. Yeah. And like, I think that there was money, just Miss Emily never fucking spent it. I think that's what it was. Mm-hmm. So now they're just like, yeah, sugar.
Chrissy's got questions about the nursery. And she's got like a little bit further in this plot point than anyone so far. Mm-hmm. So I'll give you a little bit of my notes. It says, I'd love to know more about Charlotte's baby. And then in all caps, Homer.
Yeah.
I love that though. Yeah, that's so great. Homer show. Okay.
So we've been led to believe that Charlotte's baby like died
or something,
or was like scurried away in the night by, just like Christy was.
Now, prior to this thing, they get their rooms, and Christy's like, I thought I heard like a creaking, like I felt like someone was watching me, but it must have been that fucking rape. So I let it go. But it was someone creeping around the house, and it was Homer. Introduced as the neighbor's adopted child. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So that's Homer.
But Charlotte told Christy, oh, my baby was born, it was devilly because it had a hoof print birthmark on the back of his neck.
Mark of the devil.
And then Christy was like, Homer like bent over and she was like, oh, that's the same. Okay. Hey, Luther.
Like, what could this mean? What could this mean? But anyway, Charlotte's fucking pumped. She's so happy about people.
She's so happy. Her and Jefferson become BFFs immediately.
They do, and she's like, we're going to slaughter a chicken, have a chicken dinner, and Luther grants 1 potato each.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And vegetables.
She also is just like, oh my God, yeah, like, you like my artwork, Jefferson? Do you want to paint a room? You want to do? And he's just like, ah! And then like, I don't know.
Little boys need to get dirty, don't they?
It's true. Like Christy was like, he's making a mess, and she was like, he's a little boy. He should be making a mess. And like, my heart was just like, it does.
So they have such a lovely So Christy's like,
Oh, and Gavin's still there, and no one knows where anyone is.
what do you mean no one knows where anyone is?
Like Gavin didn't tell his folks where.
Okay.
Like he hasn't contacted.
Right. He just left.
Granddaddy
He kinda,
Longchamp
left,
and
a little
Edwina.
note. But it's his daddy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're all
Or
kind of
mom.
like sorting themselves out, and Gavin's like, I can help do some hay.
Yeah.
Chewing. And Christy was like, yeah, they were cool, but like, they definitely need a little fucking help with these fucking dishes. She's like, I'll do some cleaning because you need a little help with that. So they kind of like are like, we can help and be cool and harmonious. And they have a beautiful like dinner, and then they're so full of joy and happiness. And Christy's like, can you fuck away my rape trauma?
Yeah.
And the phrase throbbing manliness does show up.
It always does.
So Gavin fucks away her rape trauma, I guess.
You know, she was just like, we love each other. I need to like replace this trauma memory with a good one. And, you know, she was ready to do that.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, maybe if we ever caught up with these characters later, she would have been like, I rushed too fast into that. But you know what? When there's no one else to help you with your trauma, like, she's going on some instincts.
A cock will do.
Yeah, little cock will do, yeah.
Little cock will do, yeah. It's noted that Homer no read good.
Yeah.
FYI.
But he's so excited to learn.
Yeah, and so Christy's like, let's all learn, and then she's like, something's going on with Homer. I wonder who Homer is. Why does Homer come around? And Gavin's like, maybe everyone's fucking business isn't your business, Christy. Jesus. And she's like, I'm gonna ask Luther. He's like, don't fucking ask Luther. Why do you know? She's like, I'm gonna fucking ask Luther. Which I loved for Gavin. He's like, who fucking cares? Stop getting into these people's business. She's like, well, I need to know. And he's like, do you?
He's like, do you? Maybe leave it alone.
Can you? This really isn't your business. And she's like, Luther! Who the fuck's Homer? And Luther says the most beautiful thing ever about Charlotte, which was that basically the Booth family was horrible. Mm-hmm. But Charlotte was blessed with softness and had sunshine in her face always.
He really loves her.
I know.
Also, she's way less like, she's a little quirky, but like they treated her like she was like
an R word.
Yes, like very, very like stupid,
disability.
inept. Like,
yeah.
No, I think that she would have done a lot better had they actually, had she been like.
It's like shitty, dirty Bart needed nurturing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Unchecked quirkiness.
Unchecked quirkiness.
They go to a swimming hole. Shout out to Foxworth Hall.
Yeah, I know. I thought that too. Well, because Luther was like, hey, there's a pond down there if you guys want to go swimming sometime. He's just like, Luther is living for like Christy and Gavin's like little romance.
I didn't get that read, but I love that you got that read.
Yeah. He's living for like Jefferson being there and being friends with Homer. Like, Luther is such a secret softie, and he's just psyched. Like, he found out, like, he reads between the lines. Like, when she said, like, I can't be there because of my uncle, like, he immediately was just like, oop, you can stay here as long as you want.
There's a lot of read on Luther that you're very correct on that I didn't read.
Love him.
So they go to the swimming hole, and I think they skinny dip and are like having sexy tingles. But Christy comes with the common sense, and she's like, I do not want to get pregnant.
I know. I was so excited to read that. She's like, we have to be careful. We have to like, bone every time that we feel like boning. Like, babies happen. And that's the first time that like
the common sense.
That's the first time that we've been like at the same, like, oh, that happens. Because, like, I don't know, when Dawn got pregnant, she was like, what was I thinking? Of course, when we had, like, extra big, long sex for a month
extra
straight.
Big, long sex. I had an extra big, long sex. Those are the only sexes that get you pregnant, is the big, long ones.
How long sex
extra big, long?
For a month straight. I can't believe I didn't think about getting pregnant.
There's so many Siemens in me.
Oh. Like, everyone else seems to be like, oh, intercourse means babies. And Christy's just like, yo, like, I know we're feeling feelings.
No more sperms.
We cannot. I'm like, fucking yes, girl.
But.
Ugh.
Gavin is just kissing her all the way down, but Christy stops him from quote unquote going any lower. Girl, that is a thing you can do that won't get you pregnant.
I know. Well, you know.
Let him tongue your clit.
Yeah, please.
Please do. Anyway, how does Fern know about the meadows?
I don't fucking know. Just to make our lives
Conflict
as the reader
drives plot.
miserable.
Oh, hi. Hi there. Fern rolls in with Morty, another man. Morty.
Oh, and they are just the worst. I thought I couldn't, like, dislike a character more, like, a female character more than Fanny.
Fern.
Fern is the actual worst. They're so mean. Charlotte's so, like, sweet and innocent.
Gets pretty distressed pretty quick. She's like, okay, well.
Yeah, like, they talk about, like, when they go in the room and see, like, Aunt Fern and Morty just in there being like, and, like, ripping butts in the sitting room. Like, Charlotte's eyes are just like, I'm terrified. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm very polite. I don't... It's actually fucking happening. Who are you? Ugh, I hate them.
And then they're like, we need a good room. Like, their parents' bedroom has been kind of kept like a mausoleum of some type. And she's like, get all these gross face creams out of here. Which, to be fair, they're probably like 60-year-old face creams.
It doesn't fucking matter. Their house is large enough that no one needs to go in that room.
Charlotte is so distressed over this.
She's so upset. She's like, no, but this is my parents' room. No one's been there since And Luther tries to get, and then Fern just starts throwing out threats like, "Oh, you wouldn't want to call the police? Like, you want me to? You wouldn't want me to do this?
Yeah, she was like, "What about calling up the note on the meadows?" And then I was like, "Who owns the meadows? Who owns the meadows? Was it Dawn and thus Christy?"
I don't know why it would be Dawn though, because she wasn't related to.
But I'm saying that yes. Okay, so let's think about this. So we have Lillian, aka Grandmother Cutler. Would not.
I feel like Philip would own it.
Hold up. So we got the money, the Cutler money, and I feel like it's not said explicitly anywhere, but I feel like Dawn would have purchased the meadows or given some kind of financial benefaction.
Oh, yeah, probably.
So in 2 years, when Christy turns 18, she will have
maybe
the control of that. But yes, did Dawn have a will? Because if she didn't, I feel like she would not have willed Christy to Philip.
She definitely didn't have a will, or we would have heard about it.
And second of all, there might be a whole legal proceeding that could have prevented this whole... Anyway, so if we're going along with the fact that Philip is somehow a legal guardian, he would have financial control of the meadows.
I just feel like there's no way that Dawn, like, why would Dawn buy it? I'm pretty sure that, like, it would have just gone to Charlotte because it belonged to Miss Emily. It would have just gone to Charlotte, and they talked about how Miss Emily had money. She just never spent it.
Yeah, she's felt it sinful.
So I don't know why there's
Great
this.
questions.
Yeah.
This threat of, like, the meadows and my Uncle Philip or my fucking whoever Philip's going to come in here and threats to get her way. And Fern also hates Homer.
Yeah, which is such a, get this fucking beast man away from me. They're like, he was a gentle giant. She's like, I don't fucking care.
So she basically, Fern hates Christy because Christy is quote unquote a princess. But us, the readers who have done read Twilight's Child, know that Fern also could have been a princess. She could have been.
Yeah. She was like, everyone was mean all the time. And Christy keeps trying to, like, fact check her and be like, no, but
you were a shitbag.
But, like, I know how much my parents wanted you to be happy and wanted you to be part of the family. She's like, no, that's bullshit. They wanted to change me. And she's like, no, you just, like, needed to not, like, steal and, like, try to teach me about sex when I was 5.
So she basically makes Christy a slave to get back at her for being the princess. And now you're going to wait on me. Bring me coffee, but wait while we fuck.
Yeah, like the first night she was like, you have to scrub down this entire bathroom.
This isn't
all
fit
this
for me.
shit. And
Gavin's like, why you want this bathroom then?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe pick a room that's not this dirty.
A mausoleum.
And I think that's when Christy, like, breaks and...
Hold on.
No,
so she brings the coffee, and she, like, knocks, and there's, like, fucking sex sounds happening. Fucking sounds.
Fucking sounds.
Fucking sounds. Wait while we fuck, and then she's like, hang on a second. That's what it sounds like. And then she's like, draw my bath, and wash my hair, and do my everything.
Scrub my back. Small circles. Go get my nail polish.
Pedicure time.
Dry my feet,
and
you
finally,
idiot.
Christy is like, he fucking raped me. And Fern is, like, not so sympathetic.
She's like, oh my God, really? Tell me about it.
She's like, I tried to get him to like do me. He was interested, but it never happened.
She's like, why are you upset? He's handsome. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, it was horrible. And she's like, why? Oh my God, I was...
And then she's like, bring me some breakfast. I don't want these dry eggs. Bring me eggs, not dry.
Yeah, I want like my eggs wet.
Give me some wet eggs.
What the fuck is that?
I wrote that down. Give me some wet eggs.
Yeah, she literally requested wet eggs.
Oh, I'm picturing like a scramby in like a glass of water. I know.
Like a really messed up, like do-it-yourself, like Orbitz drink from the 90s. Like
Orbitz. I've been sitting on that for so long. Like a glass of water with fucking scrambies floating in it.
Scramby egg Orbitz.
So Fern is needling Dawn about being piano player and is like, all the money my brother spent on lessons, like that was fucking Dawn's money.
Yeah, and also
Point of order, Jimmy had no money.
Yeah, no.
Dawn had the money. Mm-hmm. Dawn was there.
And also she was like, we wanted to give you music lessons to try to do it, and you didn't want it. She's like, well, I wasn't going to do it if they wanted me to do it. Like, fucking Fern. Like, she'd complain about something. Christy would fact check, and then she'd be like, well, of course I wasn't going to do it for them. And it's like, well, why are you fucking complaining that you couldn't do it? Like,
here are 2 notes that I wrote that I don't know. It just says, poor Charlotte, frowny emoji, and then Fern gets real mad. Was it, they found the baby doll.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's why I wrote poor Charlotte, frowny emoji. They fuck with her baby doll, and it's her baby. Like, it's Charlotte's baby, and they play monkey in the middle.
Which is super upsetting.
Yeah.
And then Fern, like, runs into the room. She's like, ah!
She rages the fuck out that people won't let her be a dick.
And then Homer's there, and she's like, blah! And then Homer just, like, gently passes the doll back to Charlotte.
I also noted that this whole Fern-Morty thing goes on for way too long.
It does. It's too much of the book. It was too much of the book. Like, it was just so stressful, too.
It could have been a few pages, and it was like a chapter and a half of Fern.
Well, because they were just terrible, too. They were like, move this, don't do that, you do this for us, you do that, like, you're entertaining, oh, princess, blah, blah, blah.
I'm going to say 2 words to you.
Strip poker?
Nope. Oh. They are Morty baby.
Morty baby?
She's like, don't you play little games? And she's like, Morty, you're a baby. Lick the food off your nose, Morty baby. You're a bad baby.
Oh.
I'm sorry that you blocked that out and I reminded you.
I didn't, like, block it out. I just...
Take your hand away. Our listener can't hear you.
Sorry, dear listener. I just, like, stopped writing notes a long time ago about this book because it was like...
So Fern is like, these are games that adults play, little relationship games. Don't you and Gavin play these games? And she's like, Morty, you're a baby. And, like, puts mashed potatoes or some shit on his nose. And she's like, and Morty's like, nah, 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 nah. And Chrissy's like, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah.
Morty baby. He's a baby. Morty baby. So then, Morty baby. So
Morty baby.
Have some teats. Mashed ones on your nose. And then she's like, done, you're not a baby anymore.
Yeah.
And Christy's like, why the fuck is Morty doing this? She got like the money or the puss? Like what does she have?
Yeah, like why?
Which is like a great and fair question.
Great and fair.
And then so Fern's like, so Christy's like, we're gonna put Jefferson to bed, and we're just gonna. And she's like, great, you can come down when you're done.
Play some games. Make them some gin and tonics, Morty.
Yeah, and she gets blackmailed into playing strip poker, which I'm pretty sure is a crime.
I think so.
That's a sex crime.
But when they go upstairs, she's like dressing Jefferson for bed and notices that he's got a cut on his leg.
No! Oh no! A hidden nail wound.
Yep.
Oh no.
That he got when he was painting the room with Charlotte.
Days ago.
Yep. And like she didn't notice, and then like Charlotte was like, I don't remember if I washed that.
Was it yesterday?
I get Luther tomorrow. I get Luther's, and Luther's cuts mixed up with everyone else's cuts because he's always cutting himself. So they like clean and dress the wound best they can. Go back downstairs, like fucking like let's entertain her. We just want her to get bored so that she'll leave. Yes. Like,
but that's it's extortion, right? That's a crime. She is blackmailed into playing strip poker.
Oh yeah.
Okay, great.
I mean, I'm sure
that's a crime.
Like it's a fucking moral crime, if anything.
Detectives stay over Staber.
You take your fever.
Take the Staber.
You take your fever.
Can I get a detective Staber on this? He would be out up in there. Yep.
So it's like one hand of poker, apparently. You like take off like 6 articles of clothing and shit.
How do you feel? Pairs count as one.
Nope.
Which is not right. Nope.
Nope, but they were like, those are our rules. Also, like, Gavin just pieces out because they're like, here, have this drink. He's like, we're not having your drinks. Like, you're such a boring teenager. And he's just like, she's like, giddy, and he's just like, we're just fucking not into this shit. And then, yeah, like, Gavin loses and he's like, I'm not fucking stripping, and just like pieces out.
And Fern is again, she's like, don't welch on your bets.
Yeah, she's full nude.
She's full
the second
nude.
she gets full nude, Gavin's like, you're fucking disgusting. I can't believe you're my sister.
I'm out.
Knock it off. Bye. I don't need to see your vag.
Get your giant off the chair.
Take your giant off the antique chair.
Fucking pubes everywhere.
The acidity in your labia
your
is going to
vaginal
ruin
excretions.
the varnish on this antique chair.
How many excretions? This
Probably
is the
constantly
science.
excreting.
And then so Christy's having emotion about it, and Gavin's like, fuck it, we'll leave. We're not going to let her do this. We'll go to Daddy Longchamp in Texas, which should have been plan 1.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Earlier when I was like, oh, the Meadows, it should have been plan 1.
It should have. Yeah. I'm surprised it wasn't plan 1, but we had to have this, I guess. I did like seeing Charlotte and Luther again, but like could have done without
Fern for 22 chapters.
fucking A. Just being gross and always like, tell me about how your uncle, like, tell me about his penis, tell me what he did, like, bleh. Oh, do you and Gavin do sex? I can see it on your face. You doing a sex?
Do you do a singular sex? And oh no, Jefferson have a swollen face and neck.
Yeah, so they go to bed because they're like, all right, we're just gonna fucking
Tomorrow morning we're piecing out of here.
get out of here. It'll be fine.
They were like, Fern's gonna lose interest without the threat of us.
Yeah, we thought that she would get bored anyways, but she's clearly not planning on doing that, so we'll just go. And then,
He got swollen face neck.
Christy wakes up because Gavin's like,
Looks fucked up. This kid looks fucked up. And it's true that they're teens. They're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, find an adult.
yeah, and they try, and then Fern's like, why are you gonna always be so dramatic?
And then Morty comes in with a little bit of the smallest redemptive arc and is like, hey, Fern, you have aspirin. Like, this kid needs aspirin to bring down his fever.
Yep.
You have aspirin. Why don't you go take a look for it?
Yep.
It's,
was about
it's
it.
the smallest redemptive arc.
He's like, thanks. Thanks, Morty.
Thanks, Morty. So they try to, like, ram aspirin down his face, but his throat is so swollen.
He keeps, like, choking it up.
Yeah, he chokes it up.
So they grind it up and put it in water and, like, are able to give him, like,
bit.
a glass of aspirin water over, like, a period of a couple of hours.
But Luther's seen this before.
Well, then everyone wakes up and then falls asleep, and when they wake up, he's just, like, rigid. And then they start screaming. And Luther's like, oh, shit.
Oh,
had a cousin-
I'm a farm guy. I know what this is.
I had a cousin who cut his leg on a rusty plow blade.
Rusty nail.
Yep. And we have to go now to the hospital. Now. Like,
Oh no. Hospital forms.
I know.
Hospital forms.
And everyone's being a dick, but like, how long ago did it? And I wanted her to be like, I was actually surprised Christy didn't do her regular Christy and was like, we just found out that he had this cut like 8 hours ago. Like, of course I would have treated it at the time. The doctors and the nurses are all fucking cunts.
Yeah. And I like that she keeps being like, my guardian, my uncle. And they're like, him? To like Luther. This guy?
She should have just said yes.
I guess.
Are they going to check? That was
Yes.
like,
But then she was like, who's going to pay for this? So
Sparrow. My cat is screaming. If you can hear that at all at any time, that is
that's
my
my
cat.
soul leaving my body whenever we mention Aunt Philip.
Aunt Philip.
Aunt Philip comes in. He do roll back into the hospital because of all the hospital forms, because the doctor's like, this is expensive treatment. All right, so rocking a hard place.
Well, Luther comes back too with Homer to visit.
Yeah, because Luther cares very deeply about Jefferson.
Yeah. Comes back and he's like, oh, he's such a good boy. I wish I had a son like him. And it's like, and also lets them know, like, oh, yeah, the second they found out that Jefferson was in the hospital, they just left. And they're like, are you fucking... Okay.
Oh, you mean Fern and Morty?
Yeah.
So Philip rolls back in and gives Gavin a plane ticket back to Texas. Tit sweet.
He's like, you better get this and piss off. And
then he's like, this isn't the street. Because he's like, I'll fucking fight you, you old fucking fucker. And then he's like, this isn't the streets.
The doctor said that.
Whoever said it.
The fucking doctor. Which was stupid. I was like, get off your... Why are you in...
Yeah, so I hate the plane flight they take back to Virginia.
They're just like sitting so next to each other.
Yeah, I do not like this plane trip, Sam I am. Because Philip, he just like prattles on as though nothing is amiss and is chitter-chattering. And then he like slips into like his whispery creeper talk.
Yep.
He's like, what is that? I thought you knew. I thought you knew. We like made a promises. What about the promises we made for gentle promises, judges, promises?
And Christy's like, I'm just looking out the fucking window.
She's like, I just want my brother to get better.
She noted that she was like looking out the window, but he was talking straight forward like she was sitting across from him. Weird.
She has to go back into her shitty home, and I'm going to show you these 2 notes that I took that I'm going to say, but you're not going to like them, so I'm going to prep you. And they are wormy panties and chowder crotch. So
I mean, I do like chowder crotch. That's fine.
So she finds that like Philip and or Melanie have dumped like earthworms into her underwear drawer.
Dead worms and dirt. Also, like, sliced up her Sweet 16 dress.
Yeah.
Bunch of other shit.
Just like some petty vandalisms, and there's like lunch or dinner. Oh! And Aunt Bet locks her into her room.
Yeah.
Because you ran off. And Christy's like, why doesn't Christy want to tell Aunt Bet? Because she was like, she's going to turn it against me in some way or something like that.
Yeah, I think she was also worried that, like, saying something like that would make her a person that she didn't want to be. Like, she didn't want to say something just to hurt Aunt Bet.
Okay.
I know. Like, 16, gotta remember 16. Fine. But also, she keeps being locked in her room. Like, she's supposed to be ready for food at, like, a certain time. And if she, like, isn't out of her room at a certain time,
breakfast
locked.
Is done.
Yep.
I don't know if it was lunch or dinner, but there is chowder, and Melanie and Richard are assholes to her, and she just dumps the chowder right in their crotches.
Yeah, but what happened before that is she was pounding on the door, I believe, about, like, the broken stuff or whatever. I don't know. But Aunt Bet comes in. She finally is just like, I don't even fucking care if it's petty for me, and she tells
Yeah, and
Aunt
she was
Bet.
like, do you want to know why I left? It's because Philip raped me.
Yeah.
And
then Aunt Bet scurries off in her room, like, scream crying. And that's why she's not locked in.
Yes.
And then she...
Chowder crotches.
I think it was, she screamed about her dress being ruined. That's when Aunt Bet came in.
And she's like, damn, well, what do you want?
Maybe if you hadn't left, you would have been here to look at your stuff. Of course it wasn't my kids, though. What the fuck? Do you think there's ghosts in this house?
Ma'am.
Do you think there's ghosts in this house? So then that's when she, like, clapped back and was like, fucking no. And then she scurried off, and then Christy found more, like, fucking shitty things that happened in there.
And Richard's like, your brother's gonna die. He's not even coming here. And then so Christy's like, fucking Philip, is he coming here or not?
Well, she flips fucking chowder into their laps. Like, she's like one fell swoop.
She like burns their reproductive systems.
They don't even have any. They're just like, I picture them like weird, like robot Barbie dolls. I don't know.
So then the next thing I wrote was, Philip takes Christy to the hospital in his high school jacket. Come on.
Yeah, so, like, Aunt Bet's like, hey,
She's gone for hours. She just shuts herself away because, like, she fucking knows. And did her whole facade come down upon her that she was just, like, a blank canvas to be Dawn/Christy?
I think so, probably at that point, or at least realize, I don't know. I don't even care about Aunt Bet. She's a fucking bitch.
Fine, fair.
Yeah, she sucks. She was like, she grew up with all this privilege. She's an asshole. She treated, like, the servants like fucking servants. And, no, she sucks. She fucking sucks. She's no shits about kids whose parents just died. She's just like, it's really inconvenient for us to be here. And it's like, are you really kidding me? So, so then she's like, you're
Take me to my brother right now.
Aunt Bet was like, hey, you were supposed to, like, talk to Christy about the fact that she, like, flipped chowder in some laps. And he was like, not the time. And she's like, but he's like, it's not the time. Yes, we are going to the hospital. Your brother just got here. And then, like,
Do you like my letter jacket?
Yeah, he like comes with his fucking letter jacket, and then like
Come on.
they go outside, and he's just like, and she's like, "Where's Julius?" Who's the chauffeur? And he's like, "Oh, he's got the night off." And she's like, "When is he over the night?" He's like, "Oh, he's got a girlfriend in town." She's like, "Okay."
They took a little side trip to the beach.
Yeah, they're driving there, and she's like, "This isn't the way to the hospital." And like, meanwhile, he's being like, "Oh, you were great tonight," and she's like, "What?"
Everyone loved your singing.
And she was like, "What?" Like he keeps being like saying more shit, and she's like, "Uncle Philip, what the actual fuck?" And then they pull over, like he's pretending it's that Outlook place by the school that they went to,
Calls
or like
her
in
Dawn.
his mind.
Yeah, calls her Dawn.
Yep.
Tries to,
And
again, do a rape-ins.
she runs out of the car.
The beach is not a good run to safety place.
No, it was right in front of her, though. You know, like that's the only place she could go.
I did like Philip getting a face full of sand.
Yes, she was like, I don't fucking know what to do. Like she's trying to fight him
She's
off. She
pinned
does
down
run
again.
away. Yep. She gets a handful of sand, throws it right in
Whips
his eyes,
face.
and then
Great
is able,
move, yeah.
Then is able to like get away from him, run away. Because he's like tearing at her clothes. She's scratching her skin. Like,
Yeah, it's being gross.
so she meanders all the way up to Bronson Alcott's.
Did she go to Bronson's, or did she like stumble into the road and flag down a car?
No, she stumbled into the road. A car kept going, and then she was walking, and she was worried that any of the other cars were going to be Philip's. So she kind of like
Skulked.
skulked a little bit. She shows up. Bronson opens the door and is just like, "Fuck, what?" And she tells him what's up, and he's like, "I am so sorry. Like, I should have listened to you more. Like, I wish I had known. This is never gonna happen." Calls the police
Yeah.
immediately.
And he's like, "You're gonna live with me now."
Yeah, and he's like, "If that's okay," and she's like, "That's what I fucking wanted." He's like, "I'm sorry I didn't get it before, but like, shit, like, okay, I got you.
The police roll up with Philip in the back,
Freaking.
and Bronson is like, "You know what to do," and they say, "Yes, sir, we'll take care of it." And I just have several like thinking faces because is being obsessed with someone in the DSM, you don't get to like be insane about it. They're like, "Oh well, we know how to take care of this." Like he's like a little crazy man.
Well, no, I think it's because when they found him, he was like broken and like screaming for Dawn like somewhere. So there was like something that like cracked him more than he was.
Sure.
I think that's why. So like they just like scuttled him. I think he's still gonna get in trouble.
Oh, good. I hope so.
I think
Good.
I think he's still gonna get in trouble.
I read that as very like, we'll just sweep it under the psychiatric rug.
No. I think it's like, you got to bring him to the fucking loony bin, right? And they're like, yeah, we got it.
Okay, different reads.
Because
Okay.
Christy also mentions that like it took Uncle Philip like a hot minute to like bust out of that insanity that he was in. So my mind just goes to like, because she's a strong bitch, like Christy. So I think that she probably would have been like, let's get this.
Isn't he like screaming from the back of the...
Yeah, he's like
thing?
screaming
He's
for
like,
Dawn.
"Dawn!"
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it was like epilogue.
So these are my last two notes in the book. You ready? Betty Ann pieces out. Nice. And then no engagement for Kirsty and Gavin. Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
But I don't know. I feel like the epilogue wasn't long enough for me. Like there was too much happening at the Meadows. There was too much happening at the Meadows with stressed out Fern shit. Because you don't even really like, it was like, oh, Fern ended up with someone else. I don't know. Usually you get more
Closure.
Yeah, we've gotten more like information about the future in like the last books of prequel books. So that was, I don't know. I just wanted to like, even a sentence like,
How was Charlotte?
yeah, I want to know about Charlotte and Luther. Like, I want to know, like, when I finally got a hold of Aunt Tricia, like, whatever. And then we made sure we saw each other frequently from, I don't know.
It's whatever you want it to be.
I know, but I was just expecting a little bit more.
So that's the only thing I liked was that it wasn't like, and then Gavin was going to marry me. And
Yep.
she was like, I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yep. She was like, I am going to focus on my music.
So
like,
that's what I want to do.
Jefferson can run this fucking hotel. I give zero shits.
Right, that's
Yeah.
right. She was like, everyone wants me to be the hotel person, but like, Jefferson will do that.
Yeah. He'll figure it out. It's going to be fine.
Great.
He does get better. He's better, etc. I don't know.
Yes, I think...
Because we were worried, like, oh shit, did he actually, like, is he dead in Virginia
Is he
or
super dead?
in the Meadows?
Wherever the
what
fuck-
what state is that?
South Virginia.
That's not a state.
South Virginia.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, there's like apparently a plane ride, but I don't know.
A plantation ride.
Plantation. Yeah, who knows?
Plantain right away.
I would love to ride a plantain. Oh,
okay.
That's not what
Yep. So
shapes. But yeah, Jefferson makes a full recovery. He was actually airlifted or whatever to the local hospital.
So here's, I think, Laura Sue has a nurse / housekeeper / lady of the house that Jefferson kind of instantly bonds with, and she nurtures him, and they live there. Here's what we're led to believe, we the reader. Christy goes on and does her piano. Gavin's probably still in the picture, but that's not her main thrust in life. Jefferson grows up to take on the hotel. Fern is much the same, and goes dick to dick. Clit to clit, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
why
what?
not?
Whatever. As long as you're not ruining anyone else's life.
Shits to shit.
Ass to mouth.
Probably.
Yeah.
She
Absolutely
goes ass to mouth.
And back to ass again. Back to mouth again.
She goes ass to ass.
Probably.
Just two buttholes creaming against each other.
All right.
Oh, ma'am.
Too far. I hope that Bronson ends up marrying like the nurse.
Why?
Nurse. I don't know, because she still lived there after Laura Sue died. She's become like a matronly, or at least that like she becomes like part of the family.
I think she is. I don't think you need to marry someone for them to be a part
Fine.
of it.
I hope that
family.
her and Bronson like have a very special, real friendship.
She's an employee. Is there an HR involved?
Not in the 70s. Is there an HR involved now?
50s, 40s? I don't know.
Fruncties.
The Fruncties.
It was in the Fruncties.
It was definitely in the...
It was in Smarch.
It was in the 1416s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is kind of a non-ending ending.
Yeah. Also, I noted like there were a lot of like chapters in this book that ended like kind of dramatically. Like it'd be like, and then I gasped, and then like, the next page it's like, I finished gasping.
I exhaled.
It's interesting.
The next one we got is hang on.
It's not going to be in there.
It's going to be listed on the back.
not gonna be in there.
I swear from God.
It's going to end with that one.
Midnight Whispers. Okay. So the darkest hour is before the dawn, and it might be the darkest hour of our reading. So that's that, and
Shout out today, before we did a recording, we talked to
Lee
Felix on a Zoom call. Thank you so much for giving us
your thoughts and
your
feels.
thoughts and times and an adorable face.
Yes.
Hope we do it again. He hopefully will be a special guest on future podcasts.
Please let us know about... I mean, Lee is the only person who has given us his thoughts and feelings. We know you have thoughts and feelings. Why are you keeping them inside?
Yeah.
Email us. I, in real life, will mention a little bit like, oh, I'm in a little podcast, you know, VC Andrews. And I usually get oh, yeah, I read that. Nothing. No, like, oh, wasn't that fucked up? And here are my thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking for something reciprocal now.
Yeah, let's engage, guys.
Let's
get engaged with an ice cream sundae. Ice cream castle.
Yeah. I just want to know, is there anyone else out there who wants to delve?
Yeah.
Go deep.
Get a scuba tank. Let's go.
How deep do you want to get?
How deep is your love?
Shallow.
I really need to know.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye. Thanks for listening to VC's Pieces podcast. We hope you enjoyed it.
Technical support is provided by Boo and Matt. Thanks for answering all of my stupid questions.
Music used is Dust in the Attic by Broken MC under a Creative Commons license.
Email us at vcspiecespodcast@gmail.com with your thoughts and comments.
You can also follow us on Instagram. We are at VC's Pieces podcast.
New episodes are released every other Friday to give you time to read along. In the meantime, settle into the cove, find your real dad.
Oh, and don't forget, douse yourself liberally in Philip repellent.
Ugh.